Pleasure Beach Resort, located in Blackpool, England, is a classic amusement park with a history stretching back over 125 years. Starting with a collection of beachside rides and expanding to become the world-renowned park of today. Discover the story of this iconic attraction. The beginnings of this historic park date back to 1896. William George Bean founded the Pleasure Beach Company with the vision of creating an American-style amusement park where adults could feel like children again. Bean's first ride was a pedal bike monorail and was located close to a steam carousel owned by businessman John Outhwaite. In 1901, the two men joined forces, borrowed £30,000 and purchased 40 acres of land on Blackpool's south shore. Using Coney Island for inspiration, more attractions and sideshows were constructed, and at this time sat directly on the sand of the resort's dunes. The first notable ride arrived in 1904. Sir Hiram Maxim's captive flying machine opened near the north of the plot and has gone on to become the oldest operating amusement attraction in Europe. A Millshoot water ride quickly followed. Opening the next year, the River Caves of the World took visitors on a scenic journey across the globe. It was around this time the park began trading as Blackpool Pleasure Beach, and in 1907, Scenic Railway, the park's first roller coaster, was constructed. Following a trip to America, Bean had plans for an even bigger attraction, creating the Velvet Coaster, which debuted in 1909. Blackpool was booming as a resort destination, and in 1911 its railway station was the busiest in the world. This boom brought thousands of visitors to the Pleasure Beach and its expanding ride collection. The First World War and years following saw a distinct lack of investment, compounded by the difficulty of importing rides from America. However, the park remained open through the war, welcoming an increasing number of women and children visitors. By the 1920s, investments had again increased, and it was during this time that many historic rides were constructed. The Whip, Noah's Ark and Virginia Reel opened on the site, and in 1923 the promenade was extended south to reach the Pleasure Beach. The promenade construction reclaimed land from the sea, creating the now familiar 42-acre site. 1923 also saw the construction of the iconic roller coaster Big Dipper. This now listed attraction has been slightly modified, but still operates at the park. Bean passed away in 1928, with ownership passing to his daughter Doris. Her husband Leonard Thompson took over the running of Blackpool Pleasure Beach and set about further expansion. His first major installation was the Ghost Train in 1930, originally known as the Pretzel. The construction of Watson Road split the park in two. This necessitated a rebuild of the Velvet Coaster, using the former attraction's lift hill to create Roller Coaster, now known as Nickelodeon Streak. The 1930s also saw the construction of the park's massive funhouse, as well as Mobius Loop racing coaster Grand National. The success of this ride led to alterations to the Big Dipper, extending its layout to the one still recognisable today. Mr. Funshine was first featured in 1936, welcoming guests with his smiling face. It was also the time that Joseph Emberton began his work with the park, constructing the casino building and bringing his Art Deco style to Blackpool Pleasure Beach. The park again remained open during World War II, offering entertainment to the British public, but understandably investment stagnated. Slowly recovering, the park entered its golden years in the late 1950s, with a renewed vigour and a passion for new attractions. The wooden Wild Mouse roller coaster was constructed, as well as park classics Derby Racer and Alice in Wonderland. In 1967 the log flume was added, opening as the world's longest and taking 2 years to build. Following his father's death, Geoffrey Thompson became managing director in 1976. Geoffrey continued the expansion of Blackpool Pleasure Beach, embracing the new era of steel roller coasters to bring modern rides to the park. 1977's Steeplechase utilised a novel car design that saw riders sitting atop racehorses, competing against each other in this now unique racing roller coaster. 2 years later, Revolution opened as the first looping steel roller coaster in Europe, negotiating its inversion both forwards and backwards. Indoor roller coaster Space Invader was followed in 1989 by Avalanche. This bobsled coaster sat proudly in the centre of the park, taking on an alpine theme and being the only ride of its type in the UK. 1991 saw disaster strike the park, with the classic funhouse being completely destroyed by a massive fire. Valhalla would be constructed on the site of this former attraction and open in 2000, becoming an instant hit and winning multiple awards. Starting in 1993, Blackpool Pleasure Beach began its biggest project to date. Inspired by Magnum XL200 at Cedar Point, Jeffrey Thompson took the record for the world's tallest roller coaster when he opened Pepsi Max Big One in 1994. This massive Arrow hypercoaster was impossibly constructed in the cramped park, threading itself between existing attractions and changing the Blackpool skyline forever. Investment continued with PlayStation The Ride, and shortly after, unlimited ride wristbands were introduced. Before this, each attraction was still enjoyed using individual tickets. In 2004, the business passed to Amanda Thompson, who continued redevelopment of the amusement park, adding the relocated Infusion and undertaking a rebrand of Pleasure Beach. In 2011, the aging Beaver Creek was transformed into Nickelodeon Land, bringing with it a fresh new look and numerous characters. It was also under Amanda's tenure that many classic rides have been retired or removed. Wild Mouse was deconstructed, Noah's Ark was closed, and the classic gold mine was transformed by Wallace and Gromit. New thrills have more recently been provided by Icon, bringing the number of roller coasters at the park to 10. With a history dating back over 125 years, Pleasure Beach Resort manages to maintain the classic seaside feel while hosting a collection of modern theme park rides. The park has become a destination for holidaymakers and enthusiasts alike. Nowhere else in the UK can you find so many historic amusement attractions combined with newer steel thrills.